Today we talk about all of our favorite things, from printers to technology, equipment to planners, etc. So get your pencil out, get ready to take some notes. Let's get started. Hello, how are you? We're going to be talking about our favorite things today. And I just wanted to first start off and say thank you to my mother-in-law for making this sunflower bouquet for my birthday. She crocheted all of this, you guys. Look at the detail. It's so pretty. So I wanted to start off and say thank you for that. All right, let's get started. Okay, the first thing on the list is, what is your favorite planner? And that would be this one. And I'm going to show you the inside of this. I actually ordered another one because I need it to start planning out the summer. Let's take a look. I think you're going to be shocked. Okay, here we go. This is my favorite planner. Let me tell you this, I've been through a ton of planners. Homeschool planner, planners that I found all over the place, well laid out planners, planners with all the stickers and all of the extra embellishments. And I stumbled across this. I saw somebody in a video, and it wasn't a homeschool. I don't know who it was, honestly. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to go to the good old fashioned way of doing this. I'm going to create my own. And this is blank, and I can make it look how I want to. Now, the kids are older. They have their own little way of writing down everything. They have their own planners, whether it's digital or paper. And I do not have to write as many things as I used to, so this works for me. But I do have a second option where I actually write out my lesson plans and things that we need to go over. But as far as a homeschool planner, life planner every day, for me, it's as simple as this little guy right here. And I got this on Amazon. They come in a variety of sizes. I like this 8.5 by 11, and I believe they have one half the size, but that wasn't gonna work for me, so I got this one, and I love it. That is my favorite planner. Let me show you my favorite water bottle. Last Mother's Day, one of my daughters got this for me. I love sunflowers. It is my favorite flower, and she got this for me. So this is my favorite water bottle. Let's talk about my favorite app or website. And yes, if I had to choose just one, and there's a handful of them out there that pertain to homeschool, I would buy. James! Yeah? I'm recording. What? Yes? It's recording. Love you. You're not in the video.
Is this going on the video?
Just maybe a little bit of the banter as a blooper. They can't see you. They cannot see you.
Why is so terrible?
Turn it off. Yeah, this one's a little strong for some reason. Okay, my favorite app or website, and if I had to just choose one to share with you, it would definitely be Cathy Duffy's Top Picks. There you can go to the website, and in the search engine, you can search for any curriculum at all. I believe she has games on there, educational games, and things of that nature. And you can find all the information about every curriculum known to man. And it's very neutral, and it gives you the facts without without taking sides. And you go there and you get the information that you need. You go there and you get the information that you need. I guess that's what I would say. Highly recommend it. I use it often. I am glad that someone recommended it to me when my kids were in must have been 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, somewhere around there, or 3rd, 4th, and 5th, somewhere around there. And I was very thankful that they shared that with me. I've been using it ever since, and now I have an 8th grader, 9th grader, and an 11th grader. Very reputable source. I will put the information in the description below, and I suggest that you take a look at it for yourself and see if you like it. What is my favorite homeschool supply store? Have you heard of Homeschool Compass? Hello, thank you for joining me. Make sure to check me out on Instagram, where I share more encouragement about the middle school, high school journey, and a little bit about our life. I have a handful. Okay, here we go. The first one is christianbook.com online. I have been using them for years, and I remember as a child, people in my church, we would order things from them and it would show up and we'd unbox it and put things away. But I did not know that they had all of these other items available, especially for homeschoolers. Tons of resources. Have you heard of Homeschool Compass? There is a link on the christianbook.com page that links to Homeschool Compass, and there's so much on there, from podcasts to resources to free poetry to free planners, just a plethora of information. And then the homeschool section, I feel, just keeps growing and growing on christianbook.com. I cannot recommend it enough. Their shipping is excellent. They are accurate and done well with christianbook.com as a homeschool supply store. If you live near a Mardell's, I would run there quickly. Mardell's, think Hobby Lobby and Lakeshore Learning and any other, and like, not Staples, but any other educational supply store, curriculum store, homeschool store that you can think of, all blended together, including the Hobby Lobby part of it. And I was in Missouri for a homeschool basketball competition, and I was just looking on the map and noticed they had a Mardell, because they're not all over the place. There's just a handful of them, truly. There's one in Texas. I remember visiting one in Texas 2 years ago. Anyhow, there's none anywhere where I live, and I was so happy to go to Mardell's. Now, if you live near one, good for you. If not, there is an online portion that they have as well, and their planners are very popular. I ordered one some time ago, and I did not use the planner as it should have been used, but I did take out sections of the planner and put it into my Homeschool Mom binder, and I used it that way. But their planner apparently every year sells out quickly. So anyway, Mardell's is another one, and Rainbow Resource. I don't order from them often, but I should. I like their platform. I like what they offer. I like their customer service. I like their shipping. I haven't had a problem. I've only ordered from them a few times, and I need to put them higher on the list. They have been consistent, no complaints, and yes, Rainbow Resource, I would recommend them as well. I want to mention this as well, because where you live, there may be many resources to swap homeschooling material, whether it's a homeschooling store that you might have nearby or a little drive away, or in different groups. There's a lot of different groups out there that swap for items. That is another good source. Any homeschooling families that you know, you may want to inquire with them and say, hey, when you are done with that particular curriculum, can we switch? So don't just think that you need to get everything from online or at a store. You may have a local homeschooling family that you guys can share the curriculum together, and that's another great way to be in that category of homeschool supply store. It might be your fellow homeschooling friends. Let's talk about the printer and the printer paper. I have just been ordering the big box. I think there's 8 or 12 that come in the big box of the Amazon printer paper. And this is for 8.5 by 11. And it just shows up at my door. And so that's very easy. We use a lot of printer paper around here, a lot of printer paper. And I'm happy that it just shows up at my doorstep. The ink for the printer, and the printer is the Epson 3750. I believe my model is the ET, and we'll talk about the printer in just a moment. But the ink lasts an eternity, I feel. Not an eternity. Okay, let's not exaggerate, CJ. The ink lasts a very, very long time. Over the summer, I usually print the curriculum if I have a PDF of the curriculum. And a lot of times the schedules, let's take Guest Hollow, for example, or Master Books, whatever companies that you use. They have lots of pages to print. Depending on what it is, I will send it out to get it done professionally. If not, I will just use my printer. About 90% of the printing jobs are done with my Epson 3750. And this is the ink that it uses. Now, last week I took all the ink bottles in, the empty ink bottles in to recycle, and received a nice little exchange with Staples. So I need to go back to Staples because I have a credit there. But this is the ink that is used, and it lasts a very long time. Okay, what does that mean, CJ? So I've printed so many pieces of paper, thousands, and that's not an exaggeration. It was one schedule that I had to print or assign. It was a schedule and the assignment of everything they needed to do for the entire year. And there must have been 250 pages. So front and back times 4, because I print it for myself as well. And this ink, it barely budged with that printer. So let's talk about the printer next, but this is the ink that I use. The printer is the Epson 3750. It hasn't failed me yet. I've had it for a little over 5 years. I can see that the wear and tear is ramping up. I've had to change the maintenance box 4 times, and I'm not sure if that is good or not, but wanted to share that with you. It has been reliable. However, in the recent 6 months, it has had some glitches. And so it might be time to look for another one, but we're gonna keep using this one until it just goes kaput. It has been a treasure. It has been a joy to be able to just print everything here. Quality has been excellent, and I've enjoyed the Epson 3750. Now, I want to jump into the binding system. It wasn't until 2019 that I purchased a ProClick, and I wish I would have had a binding system when the kids were younger and when somebody suggested it to me. I didn't purchase one. It would have helped quite a bit in the younger years, but anyhow, that's okay. So there are many binding systems out there on the market. What I was doing before was taking everything to a Staples or Office Depot or some other source to have them bind it for me, and then I would pay the cost. But with the ProClick, it's actually fun. You can do it all in your house. I feel that the cost up front is a little sticker shocker. So I paid $150 for my ProClick binding system, and then you had to buy the side panels for it as well, and that's a bit much. This is the ProClick, and these are the coils or the spines that you purchase to go with it. And what I realized is once we were done with our school year, what I could do was I could reuse these, and so that worked out, and that is cost efficient. Whatever binding system you use, I highly recommend you getting one, especially if you're thinking of homeschooling long term. This, not only have I used this for homeschooling items, but I've used it for our worship team. I've used it for making just some personal stuff for myself. Love it to pieces, and you don't have to plug it in. I love everything about this. So the ProClick by GBC, you can find this on the GBC website, you can find this on Amazon, and I wouldn't be shocked to know if you can find it at some of your local office supply store as well. For the laminator, I feel that most laminators work the same. Not one brand is better than the other, so I don't have any to recommend to you. To me, a laminator is a laminator, and they all do the job. So my favorite laminator, whichever one you like. Okay, on the list it talks about a notebooking book, and I have not purchased a notebook. I've always seen them. I've been thinking about purchasing something especially for one of my girls I feel would truly enjoy the notebook style of learning. And if you have any suggestions, please let me know, because this is something that's new to me. So let me know in the comments below, what is your favorite brand of notebook, and tell me why. I think they're interesting, and I've only heard about them in the last like 2 years, maybe 3 years, and before I didn't really hear about them. So anyway, it seems like it's a style of journaling. Is that correct? That's what it seems like. Let me know what your favorite brand or the website to go to or any of that is below, because I've been thinking about it, so I'd love to hear from you. Okay, what are my favorite places to buy books, to get or buy books? So other than the library, this list is going to be long, so I'm just going to list it here for you so that you can take a look. I have a lot of choices, and what I have found is I enjoy the mom and pop ones better. Yeah, I've been enjoying those better. Not to take away from the other ones, because they're great, they're efficient, they're quick and all of that. But I found that I just like helping the mom and pop ones. So here's a list of the places that I've ordered from in the past and I will continue to order from. There is a homeschool playlist in the description box of other content creators sharing their favorite things. Be sure to check it out. Thank you, Stephanie from Schulte's Sweeties, for hosting this collaboration with me. What is your favorite storage organizer? Well, it's definitely not this cart that I'm showing you. This cart kind of went viral, I guess, and it just didn't work for us. I feel that it was a bit flimsy, and when you pull the drawer out, there's a lot of unraveling of the sides of the plastic that would get kind of cut and shave off, I guess. And maybe I was looking into it too much as, oh, this person has it, this person has it, this person has it, this person has it, I have to get it type of thing. And the discount on it was deep. The price was where it should have been. I remember that, but it did not work well. And our best system of organizing truly has been the IKEA Kallax bookshelf, I think is what it's called. Love that thing, and anything else is just your standard organization, a pencil case and things like that. But bookshelves, and that particular bookshelf, 2 thumbs up for sure. One of the best homeschooling tips that I have ever received is from one of my friends from California. Hello, if you're watching, you know who you are. You mentioned that every day from the time the children were younger, even to now with your teenagers, at 1 o'clock, and the time may vary now, but at 1 o'clock at that time, from 1 to 2, you stop everything, whether it's homeschooling, doing the dishes or whatever, and you go to your room and you take a break for 1 hour and you do whatever you like. Take a nap, or scroll the internet, or do some research, or make your phone calls for the doctor, or whatever it is. Watch something if you want to do that. And I was puzzled by that, because how can a mom take a break? That's absurd. And I watched how you would execute that, and what was interesting is, even if we planned a play date, we planned that play date after your 1 hour nugget of time for yourself. You just were so disciplined in making sure that you kept to it. And that is my homeschooling tip that I received, that I have now executed for myself. And I would suggest, and I would encourage you to find that time for you to take an hour, 15 minutes even, go step outside and smell the flowers and just enjoy nature, and do something for yourself just for a moment. Pray, read your Bible, do your devotion during that time. And it doesn't have to be in the afternoon, it can be earlier. But that homeschooling tip has always stayed with me, and I like to share it with others, because a lot of times in the homeschooling world, we don't take any time off during the day, and it is okay to do so. And even if you have the young ones in tow. It is okay to step away and step back and say, Mommy needs a break. And I'm going to do it from this time to this time every single day. And then you come back refreshed and ready to go. Number one homeschool tip. I will never forget that. Thank you for sharing that with me. What is your favorite homeschool or motherhood podcast? The three that I can think of, and I'll list them right here for sure. Seven Sisters has a homeschool podcast that I just truly love. I also have enjoyed the Homeschool Compass podcast as well as the Homeschool How-To podcast. And you can check them out and see if it's a good fit for you. Some of the other podcasts that don't relate to homeschooling or motherhood, but actually this one actually does, is I like to check in with Focus on the Family and see what speakers they have on their podcast and different subjects, and I've learned a lot from Focus on the Family as well. Okay, the next one is your favorite homeschool thrift secret. I don't have a homeschooling thrifting secret, or maybe the secret would be something that I mentioned. If you have homeschooling material and you have another homeschool family that has like-minded views or values, then you guys can swap ideas and curriculum and things like that. Maybe that's a good thrifting way, right? It saves a lot of money. But other than that, a homeschool thrift secret, I don't have that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what all the other content creators in this collaboration is going to suggest there. And if you have any, you can share them below as well. What is your favorite homeschooling encouraging book that encourages you, keeps you sharpened, or helped you as you started your journey? The one that I am just thankful for at this season is this book, Honest Prayers for Mama Bears. And they have other books out on the market, and I really enjoy this one because it's not, well, for me, it's not, and I think they mention it too. I think they mention it in here too, that it's not a read it from cover to cover type of thing, but read it according to what's going on in your life at the time. So for example, the first section talks about selfless prayers for self, a life of balance, prayer over blind spots, memory for what I've learned. The next section is spiritual protection for the home turf. And then you can go to the prayers of the living room, the kitchen, the kid's bedroom, the parent's bedroom, the child's friend's house. Another one, from my being to my being's being, ages, stages, and rhythms of life. So you can go to the prayer of kids' party stress, children exploring independence, school decisions, to be a good mother-in-law. And then the next one is the section called From Clay to Vessel, Prayers for My Kids' Spiritual Formation. And the prayers topics in there are healthy outlets for emotions, when kids make a big mistake, cultivating sexual faithfulness, kids to love the word. And it just has all of these little prayers that you can just jump to. This one is dating, teenagers with hormones, when social media has warped my view of motherhood, when I'm tempted to use a prayer request as gossip, and you can turn to that specific prayer. This one says, popping the Christian bubble before the kids leave the house. And you can read this prayer and get some ideas, make it your own. And what I mean by that, it says, Lord, as strong as, and then it has a blank, for the child's faith may seem now. So there's the blank for you to fill in your child's name or your personal name. And at the end, it gives an honest step. And it's almost a takeaway or the next step of what you need to do, you need to think about, ponder on, or set to action. And it has been, you can see it is well decorated, and it has been quite the encouragement. It's very real. It's very real. The topics are real, and listen to this one, sports participation. Lord, as Becky enters the world of sports, I pray that this will be a positive experience. Please help the coach to bring out the best in Becky, to nurture Becky's talents, instruct with patience, discipline, kindness, and communicate well, and bring no harm of any kind. Please help Becky to have a teachable spirit. And it goes on, please help our family to balance the time and emphasis that we place on sports If the sport is becoming an idol, crowding out leisure, family, or proper devotion to God, may I have the fortitude to straighten out our priorities, pruning unnecessary activities until there is once again time for rest, discipleship, and family bonding. It's just real. And this, at this particular moment, is my best homeschooling encouraging book that is keeping me sharpened along the way. So my favorite pen is missing. It's not in here, but I received this tip from a blog, and the blog suggested instead of using red, you should use a green pen or a purple pen or a turquoise pen to grade your children's work, because red is alarming and red is like, ah, and I thought about that and I said, you know what, I agree. I remember getting my papers back and you see this blotch of red on the paper and it kind of puts you in a mood. And so it's just a little tip or a thought behind why I choose to grade in green. And now I've also added purple because it's more calming. And if you use blue, that is, I feel, better than red as well. My favorite pen, it's by Pentel. A green colored pen would be my first choice of a favorite pen, and the brand Pentel. Oops. This is my favorite mug, and as you can see, the paint is gone. This is a Hallmark mug, and it came in a box with a little notepad, I believe. I received it from the worship team's children's choir. Being their leader, it was presented to me and it said something like, "You are great," or something along those lines. And I believe why it's my favorite mug is because it has the memories of that time. And then after I was done leading the worship children's choir, then it had memories of just snuggling up and having hot tea or coffee in here and just being my favorite mug. How can you explain the favorite mug? I don't know. If you do know, you know. And this is it. This is my favorite mug. No explanation. I hope that it continues to be with me and not break or anything. My favorite mug. So my favorite electronic device that is not a tablet or a computer or anything like that, it's not necessarily my favorite one, but my kids enjoy this Texas TI instrument that they use for upper level math, so high school levels of math and high school level of science. It's also good for the SAT, ACT, and the AP. And one of my kids found out that there is a video game on here, so of course that's fun as well. So I wanted to mention that. And then if I had to choose another electronic device that is not the laptop, the computer, and those type of things, it would be my sprocket. And I will show you a picture of the sprocket here because I just realized this box is empty. But the sprocket is a fun, easy way to just print little moments of your homeschool day. So it prints pictures and then you can put it in your journal or your scrapbook and have that memory. It's good to travel with as well. That is it for a list of my favorite things. Please tell me, what is your favorite that you heard here today? Or if you have any questions, please let me know below. And I will be sharing lots of curriculum reviews this week and into the summer, so make sure to check back often. If there's a curriculum review that you are looking for, mention it below and I will try to put that together for you as long as I have used it. I've been thinking about putting together some of my favorite elementary curriculum reviews and elementary products because I wasn't doing YouTube at that time when the kids were in elementary school. So, well, yeah, no. I started YouTube around 5th grade for my youngest, and then my next one was in 6th grade, and then my next one was in 8th. So I've been thinking about doing some curriculum reviews for the younger years because I still have a lot of that material and those items. If you're interested in anything in particular in the elementary years, middle school, or high school, please let me know. Thank you for joining me. I'm out of breath now. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you in the next video.